guys, how you doing? Today is actually Sunday, February 18th of 24. Scott and I did a Rocky Mountaineer train trip back in September of last year, and I just finally got around to editing it and posting it. So I hope you like it. It's 53 minutes and 7 seconds long. Might want to get a snack. But it was a great trip, and I hope you like it. And I'll be back with some more videos soon. All right, take care, guys. See ya.
Oh Lord, let's go get a coffee.
This is right fancy. There's like coffee and tea, a little table of merch. And they said we can like go out and look at the train and stuff. Seats all seem to be going forward.
We're not in the double-decker one. We're in the pool section.
Are we? Four big buses just pulled up with a bunch of people. We have like silver class, which are like these ones, and then the double-decker ones is gold class. So it's kind of like first class, like we're not let in there. Scott's back there. Anyway, it's all pretty good. This is like fancy. There's a piper in there, so I assume he's gonna start playing shortly.
Okay, mid-station, we should be free of crumple zones.
Yes. So we're kind of, we think, in the middle of the train. This is our, what do you call it? Our car? That's our train car. Our coach. So people come from like Australia and different places to do this. People come into Scott's hotel and then they get bussed here. Like they're coming from all different hotels, but it's apparently quite the thing. So we shall see.
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we today? Excellent, wonderful, beautiful day here for us. Well, welcome to our very own Rocky Mountaineer train station. My name is Andrea Brims, and I'll be your train manager as we make our journey into campus today. Excellent. On my count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let me tell you something. We are very excited to have you on board. Today, you are very lucky because you have the dream team that's actually taking care of you. When we saw our names on the schedule last night, we both called each other screaming, which means we're going to give you a wonderful 2-day journey. Behind the last seat, you can help yourself to water anytime throughout the day. When we are in... This is our destination crew of Vancouver. Some of those ones are hosts actually that didn't go on the train, they were on reserve. That's Mauro, the one who's pointing, is very happy he's not on the train. Sometimes the people who don't make that little area, those are the trained ones, they are people in training to do the wave off, they get to be over here on this little end of it. These guys aren't trained. Y'all get 6 more months and they'll be able to join the main crew.
They made an announcement. announcement shortly after we started going backwards that we're just trying to get onto the proper track. So we will be actually traveling forward. Thank God.
Alright, in just a few seconds, we're going to see the locomotives take a left-hand turn onto that Fraser Swing Bridge. Alright, so the water that we're traveling over at this part of the Fraser River, this is known as brackish water, which is a mix of fresh and salt water. It was named after Mr. Horman, who was a co-founder of the Canadian Northern Railway, which eventually became the Canadian National Railway. That's the happy sound.
Barker.
Happy hour.
Everybody in here is hard of hearing. They should turn it up a little.
Sing. Sing.
No?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are slowing down, and this means that we are approaching to the next highlight. I was talking about Simon Fraser earlier, and he told you that he named this area Hell's Gate, and I will tell you why. So he found passage overland very wisely, but please just see how narrow the canyon is coming there. It's only 34 meters across. So 100 years after Simon Fraser and his crew came through here, that's when the railroad was built, and Canadian Pacific was the first one on building on this side. Obviously, they were the first ones to, and they chose the easier side of the canyon. 30 years later, Canadian National came along, and they wanted to build right next to Canadian Pacific, and they were competitors. So CP, they said, no, you find your own side. So what they do, they just slow down the water so that the salmon can find passage. Oh, I can see the sister train that is coming through as well. Do you see it across the canyon? And please do notice the sign that is right under the bridge. That one's the white sign. That is the highest water level ever recorded in the Fraser River here at Hell's Gate, and that was back in 1948. Look how high the water level was. Simon Fraser, he eventually called this place a few years later when he wrote in his journal. We have surely come through the gates of hell, and that's why he named this place Hell's Gate. Ladies and gentlemen, these remnants of a forest fire, it was actually recent, about 3-4 weeks ago. We actually had to close the tracks. Highway number 1 was also closed because the fire went across the canyon. So all these are the remnants of the fire that we had recently. This year has been one of the worst for forest fires in BC. So this bridge, the original bridge was built in the late 1800s. So all the trains that are traveling westbound, they go over that bridge, and they go over this line, Canadian Pacific. See, it's only halfway painted. So when they were building that bridge, there was a strike with all the railway workers. So they stopped halfway through, and they never finished painting the bridge. It's been only a couple of times as well as we are crossing that there is another train going above us. Does everyone know what the dessert is today?
Yay! Cheesecake.
Now, I beg of you, please eat your cheesecake. I cannot have any more leftovers in the back. I have a record. I don't want to break it. Town of Lytton. And Lytton is the place where the highest temperatures ever recorded in Canada happened 2 years ago in June 29, 2021. There was a fire, and there was only about 30 minutes for all the people to evacuate here. The town was completely burned to ashes.
Oh my god.
This is an area that is very heavy in traffic, freight trains. It looks so scary right now because the water level is quite low, but this is actually a white water rafting area. And on a scale of 1 to 6, 6 being unraftable, the gorges here go up to a level 5. Mentioning earlier today, the water looks completely different than the Fraser River. There is a Kamloops Lake where the Thompson River flows through. So whatever deposits or sediments that the water is carrying are deposited in the lake, and therefore we can see the water that is bluer and more clear compared to the water from the Fraser River. That is known as Spence's Bridge. And this is a very small town with a population about 200 people.
There's an osprey nest. So ospreys will build their nest out of anything they can find. In the very early 1900s, a man named C.E. Barnes, an American entrepreneur, came to this very area in the semi-arid desert, and he envisioned a very posh, upper-class community here. So he thought, what can he do to entice people to come to this semi-arid desert? So he went to the Okanagan Valley, where it's very lush and green, and he photographed the Okanagan Valley, and he advertised it in the British newspaper, claiming this was it. He managed to entice 97 men and their families to travel all the way around the world, down South America, sail that way and come over here, and then they were settled here. When they came here, they're looking at the pictures, they're looking around wondering if they're lost. I made this part up, I just assumed that's what they did. Green took flight. This area actually became a very fancy community. They had midnight galas, fancy dress codes, they had servants, all the gardens you can imagine. They built their own irrigation system, bringing water from a lake above. And however, in 1914, when England declared war on Germany, the men had to go back and fight for their country. And many of them did go, and many would not return. And then this area was hit by a severe storm, and it devastated their irrigation system. So now it is home to about 34 homes, and is now considered as the ghost of Wallachine. The rainbow. That is so pretty. Wow, that's the oh my God, it's so bright. And yes, the fact that we had reached
Kamloops Lake, it means that we are very close to our final destination for today, the city of Kamloops.
Some business underneath those rundown buildings. I'll tell you the backstory. So originally, it opened as an asylum, an institute to treat patients with tuberculosis. Tuberculosis being very contagious, they had to first they kept it out of Kamloops, kind of out of the city, and all of these buildings are actually connected underneath via a tunnel system. Very, very cool. Very, very scary. However, in the 50s, when they found a cure for tuberculosis, they had to shut it down. 2 years later, they opened it, and they were treating patients that had mental disabilities. 2 years later, they shut it down because they found the hazardous material in the walls of these buildings. So now the buildings are not in use, but the tunnel system still is in use. So in the month of October, in a couple days, Halloween, they have hired actors and actresses, and you pay them and they scare you. It's a very weird concept. So they've also created one of Western Canada's largest escape rooms. Has anyone tried?
Have minute of your attention. I just need to make an acknowledgement. On September 30, we commemorate the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada. This National Day was established in 2021 to honor the lost children and survivors of residential schools, their families, and communities. For Canadians, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is a day for reflection, education, and recognition of the devastating impact of the colonization of the Indigenous people of this land. Canada has a sad history of government-funded residential schools designed to assimilate Indigenous children. These schools operated through the country from the 1800s until the closure of the last school in 1996. There was widespread abuse and neglect at these schools. This included the children being stripped of their culture and language, which has caused immeasurable and long-lasting suffering for the survivors of residential schools, their families, and communities. This suffering was compounded by the confirmation of the undocumented remains of 250 Indigenous children at the site of the former Kamloops Indian Residential School in 2021. On September 30 is commemorated as Orange Shirt Day, an Indigenous-led day to honor the children who survived residential schools and remember those who did not. To honor this day, Rocky Mountaineer team members are also wearing pins bearing the slogan of the Orange Shirt Day movement. The logo features 4 pairs of hands encircling the words "Every Child Matters" against an orange backdrop. The words are a reminder that all children are important, including the ones left behind and the adult survivors who are still healing from the trauma of residential schools. These pins were purchased from a small Indigenous business in Vancouver that donates the proceeds to the Indian Residential School Survivors Society. Thank you for your attention.
We're gonna pull into the yard facing forward, then we're gonna back into our private tracks. Overnight, the locomotives are going to go from the front and they're going to go to the other side. So they're gonna end up behind us. We're gonna rotate all the seats to face the locomotives so we can go in the right direction tomorrow.
Didn't they say they were going to give us rain days here?
We're staying at the Fairfield. Here's our bathroom, shower, fridge, microwave. It's our bed. hair dryer, little closet. And then our bags were brought to our room. Got a little living room space, office space, TV. Cute, awesome. So I actually got a lot done in my journal today. The train is amazing. And just the way they have everything set up, it's so like organized. Like our luggage was in our room when we got here. We leave it in our room when we leave tomorrow, and we get on the bus and go back to the train, and a truck will come and get our luggage and take it straight to Banff. So it's kind of cool. So you just have to make sure that you have a carry-on or something on you, like a backpack or something on the train, because whatever's in your suitcase you don't see at all until you get to your hotel. But check this out, this is so cool. So I don't want to forget this. This is where we're going. So we started in Vancouver and we are in Kamloops, and then tomorrow we're gonna go to Banff. And then there's the train's gonna divide up tonight, and there's another group of people that are gonna go up to Jasper. We did Banff, it's like, I don't know, an hour and a half to get to Calgary, and then we're familiar with all that. There is our hotel. There is the McDonald's. Fun. Oh dear.
You have a wonderful day ahead. We're going to leave the semi-arid desert and make our way into the amazing Rocky Mountains, all pretty much within one province, within one very massive country. So we do move into Alberta towards the end of our day. We're gonna follow 7 great rivers today, and we're gonna go over Stony Creek Bridge as well as through the spiral tunnels. The rail car, we have the lovely Daria. Hi Daria. And then standing in front of me, we have the awesome John. And Abby is downstairs. So we still have Abby. She can hear us though. So good morning, Abby. And of course, my name is Jenna. So good to see you all. And we have our new culinary. We have Kaz, and he's our lead cook. Thank you so much. Good morning. That's awesome. So that Kaz will be taking care of you as our lead cook, and then he's got his line coach, JD, and our steward, Jamil. I want to mention those merchandise or souvenirs that you purchased or ordered. We'll be making our way throughout the day. So usually when half of you is downstairs for lunch, that's when myself and Daria will make our way through and take payment. It will come to you, so no need to flag us down, let us know you need to pay. Yeah, we're not worried about it, so you don't need to be worried about it, but we appreciate it. I'm gonna go check with that downstairs team in just a moment and make sure they're ready for you, and we'll get started on coffee, tea, breakfast, pastries, and let's have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
This window is just an amazing opportunity. So not every coach has it. You have to have a low car in front of you. So we're the only ones that have this. So with that in mind, I ask that you treat it like the vestibule. So you share it amongst yourselves. Keep in mind we have people sitting, our friends sitting in seats 5 through 8. So let's be respectful of their space as well. But this is a great opportunity for everyone to share. Now, again, take time here, enjoy it. It's super, taking photos here, doing time-lapse videos, which if you don't know how to do, I can show you how to do that. It's very cool. So we can go through that. We'll do a little session through this window here, but just, don't spend too long standing here because it does block everyone's view. So just be mindful, be respectful. I think we all know how to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
The bar's open. Well, it opens at 9:30, so by the time I take your orders, it'll be open. Okay.
Thank you.
So if you are a birder, keep your eyes open. There's over 250 species of birds in this little area. So we go through it quite quickly here, but it's quite beautiful. All right, so this is the Salmon Arm Bay Nature Enhancement Society. So the estuary here, it's just a couple miles, so it's 4 square miles, so we just follow it for a short while, but it's just a really pretty area, and we do see this lovely wooden wharf here, as well as many species of birds. Right. Do you see that woman with that double-handed wave there?
Yeah.
Her name is Doris. Doesn't she look fun? Well, I can tell you a little bit about her because she's become one of our favorite train wavers over the years. She greets and waves at every single train. Can you believe it? There's a train that leaves Vancouver every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday and returns 2 days later. She comes out on her porch and greets every single one. And we learned a little bit about her because one of our hosts once stopped in on their way to the Shuswap Lake and knocked on her door and asked about her and inquired if how, you know, she's introduced herself. She said, "Hi, my name's Hope. I work on the Rocky Mountaineer. We're just curious, you know, who are you?" We are always out waving at every train, and they took up a friendship, and she invited her in, and they had tea, and it turns out her dog used to give her a heads up by knowing the difference between the freight train and the lighter passenger train. So it would bark when the passenger trains would come out, and she would come and wave at all the trains. So Hope wanted to offer her what we call the complimentary passes that we get every year. So we only have 2, so they go usually to our, you know, family, close friends. And so she wanted to offer hers to Doris, but Rocky Mountaineer got wind of it and said, "No, we'll bring her on." And so her and her husband Brian came on the Rocky Mountaineer in 2017, and when they went by her house there, they brought the station staff from Kamloops in uniform with the Rocky Mountaineer flags. They okayed it with her son. They stood on her porch and they waved the flags and waved at the train and we went by. So I can tell you there wasn't a dry eye on the carriage because I happened to be lucky enough to be one of her hosts on that day. So the dog unfortunately is no longer with us. So now she knows the trains are coming because technology. There's an app. She has a new dog though, and she's still coming out and meeting every train. So she is one of our most favorite and prized people who wave at the train as we go by. Very popular lake for houseboating. So today our feature, not listed on the menu, is a Fraser Valley chicken, so the area we went through yesterday. with a lemon herbed rice, roasted asparagus, squash, and beets, and that is topped with a tableside pour of red wine jus. I promised once we moved into this dome, I would play you one of my songs. Don't let pretending it's true.
And I'm right across the street from the Army Corps.
Right.
They got like 6.
We're in the outside portion.
This is nice.
It's freezing. Oh! Is there a tunnel coming up? Oh, don't stick your head out.
Seeing our engineer walking by us. So we're doing a crew change right now. So we have a second set of crew that is on standby, and then our current one, they're about to reach their end. So rail engineers can only work for 12 hours straight for safety regulations. So we're stopped right now to swap out to our second set of crew, and then we will be on our way. At the front, they can already see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though it's about 5 miles away. So it's completely straight, which makes it very easy to navigate. So we go pretty fast through here. So it might get a little bumpy, so just watch yourself.
This is our last photo opportunity of Lake Kinbasket here.
Canadian Pacific was coming through this area. They hired Swiss guides to help promote tourism and promote Eastern Canadians and Europeans to come and explore the beauty of the Rockies.
Okay, we have entered that Kicking Horse Canyon. So this is one of those great opportunities if you haven't done that time lapse. We twist and turn through here, it's beautiful. Use that front window, share it amongst each other. We actually follow along the Kicking Horse River here for 30 miles or so. So we have a lot of time to take our beautiful videos and photos. But keep in mind also, this is sort of towards the end of our second day. Yeah.
This one. Yeah, that's waterfall.
Okay, so this is Field. We have reached the end of our second subdivision. We are in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. Yay! The idea came from these engineers in Switzerland. Now, what's going to happen is we are going to enter Mount Ogden. We are going to loop over ourselves. Okay. And then we're gonna do kind of a switchback. We're gonna loop over ourselves again, and then we're gonna go forward again. So when we go through the first of the spiral tunnels, we'll loop over and be 56 feet higher, and then we're gonna switch back, then we're gonna loop again and be 50 feet higher, and then go straight. And all the while, it'll be a nice subtle ascent. So we're gonna turn 226 degrees on the first tunnel and 228 degrees on the second tunnel. Now the construction of the spiral tunnels was in 1907, powered by steam. I had to look that up on the internet, which they did not have. I'll tell you when, but you're gonna want to see where the water is a little higher than that.
Okay.
So about 3/4 of the way down the hill. So can you see that tunnel? It's like, yeah, I'd say 1 o'clock. So that's where we came from. We only get a few more chances to see it, so help your neighbors. You can see the track zipping over itself.
That's crazy.
So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are close to that Lake Louise destination, which is most of you we will be saying till we meet again as we've gone through the Continental Divide. Welcome to Alberta! Right, so this is the Lake Louise train station. Train station was in a very famous movie, Dr. Zhivago. So we are also in Siberia. Don't leave anyone behind.
Oh, there actually is a little red carpet. I have contacts, but I can't see up close, so I have to wear these like cheater glasses. So I'm officially old when I do this. A bunch of people got off here at this Lake Louise station. Let me flip you around. We're all spread out now. There's only 16 of us on this car that are going to Banff, and got some little treats. Let me show you. Isn't that cute? That's the train. Scott. Not good. Did you want a drink, hon? They're going around asking. Yeah, me too. You look like you're missing me over there.
Yeah, I'm distraught.
What?
Thumbs down, seat buddy.
I'm a good seat buddy.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Menace.
It's been such a great trip together. No, this has been really cool, actually. So we're gonna get into Banff in an hour. Right now it is 10 to 7. So it'll be 10 to 8, so it'll be dark by the time we get there. But we're gonna go to the Banff Springs, stay there. We'll go into the little town tomorrow, and then we are getting on a bus thing at 3 tomorrow. It's going to take us into Calgary, and then we're going to stay at the Palliser in Calgary tomorrow night, and then we fly. When do we fly on Monday, hun?
2:30.
Oh, okay, well, that's good. 2:30 we fly out of Calgary and head back home to Vancouver. All right, let's go to Banff. Make it look like you're taking a picture out the window, so it looks like you're not just on your... You can see the words on your phone. It's not... Turn...
Oh, but
make it look like you're at least taking a picture. And now show me your, like, so impressed face.
I don't have one.
Like you're in... No, I know. You're in awe. It's kind of overcast and yucky, so you can't see the mountains. There he is! Bear on the right! Bear on the right! Woo! Finally!
Yes. Shows how we knew Luke. It's like we didn't get the.
All right, we have arrived in Banff. Does everyone remember their motor coach numbers?
Yes.
All right, fantastic.
Us left.
Huh?
There's none of us left. It smells like it's fuel, but it smells like marshmallow, like roasted marshmallows. This is our room, and we've got our little amenities. We are gonna go find some supper. It is, what time of day is it? It's 8:30. So feeling a little peckish.
Miren la bakery. Con el pan ahí. Mira, mira. La bakery con el pan ahí. Esto es lo que está observando, mira. Ay, mira, esto es...
Oh, there's Columbia. I don't think we've strolled down this far before. This at IDA. If you don't know, she just showed it out loud.
about it. So we should be hopefully at the airport within about an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4. Happening within Canmore itself. Until about 1981-82, when it was awarded one of the 3 main venues for the '88 Winter Olympics. And all the Nordic events were taking place here in Canmore, and the Nordic Center is still here in Canmore. You see 3 peaks, and those are known as the 3 Sisters of Canmore. They were actually named the 3 nuns originally by a fellow by the name of Albert Rogers. Albert Rogers was the nephew of the famous Albert Bowman Rogers, who discovered Rogers Pass, just west of us, behind us and stuff. And Albert Rogers was doing some preliminary work out here with head of the Canadian Pacific Railroad rolling in through here. They camped out overnight. They woke up in the morning and he saw the 3 mountains all covered in snow. And the first thing he thought about was nuns, because they looked like they were wearing, you know, what the nuns wore, their habits. And so they originally called them the 3 nuns. 3 o'clock, you see that one peak, the very, very first peak sticking up in this range. That's known as Chinaman's Peak, and how it got its name goes back to the railroad, of course. A lot of Asian men worked on the railroad, and most of them were cooks. And so the gang that was working on this railroad here decided to place a bet with their cook and say, there's no way that you can climb to the top of that peak, put a flag there to prove you were there, and come back down and make supper the same day. So the cook took on the challenge, and not only did he make it up to the top, history says he had, and put a flag there, he came down in good time, still had a nap, and then made supper for the crew. So they named it Chinaman's Peak. In the late 1970s, they renamed that to Haling Peak now. And Haling is the cook who climbed it. 2013, Calgary and, well, everything from the mountains all the way through Calgary suffered a huge flood. And that Cougar Creek right there actually flooded out a whole bunch of homes. It tore up the highway here. People were stuck in the town of Banff for about a week because the highway was destroyed. They couldn't go east or west. It was one of the worst natural disasters in Canada. Was in Calgary in 2013. It's the longest continuously paved road in the world. So from St. John's, Newfoundland, out on the east coast, all the way out to Victoria, British Columbia, in the west coast, there's over 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers of Trans-Canada Highway. It's all paved. It's all like this. Not saying it's all 2-lane. In some areas it's only a single lane. Some areas it's like 4 to 6 lanes wide. It all depends on the area, but the point is that it's continuously paved from coast to coast, so it sits in the Guinness Book of World Records. Most of you in your travels, you probably ventured out to Lake Louise and you went under, or you passed at least 7 of the wildlife overpasses. What's happening here in front of us here is that they're building the first wildlife overpass outside of the national park. Province of Alberta and the First Nations people. They've done a lot of surveying in the area to find out the right location to put this wildlife overpass. There's lots of elk in this area, a ton of elk. And so to get them safely across from one side to another, they need these things. So it'll be fenced off on both sides, so there's no way of the animals crossing or going across the highway itself, and they'll be led to the overpasses. So this one should be finished. They estimate it'll be done by next spring.
Oh my god, there's a record player. No way. Fleetwood Mac, Blue Rodeo, Marvin Gaye, Aretha, Adele, Joni Mitchell, Bill Evans Trio, and Mariel Buckley. That's hilarious. Nice. Fireplace. Now that's a better sized bathroom than what we had yesterday. Oh, no shower. Oh, that's like an ensuite. Oh, we got more treats over here. Chocolates. Closet. The house is huge. Fairmont. You know you're in Calgary when there's a humidifier. Bathroom. Oh, jeez. Water closet. Very nice. Cool. Cool. Cool, cool. It's weird to be back in Calgary. I'm just going in here because I'm gonna get a postcard for the girls. We sent them postcards from Banff. We're gonna send some from here. And oof, jeez. Ooh, that's dizzying.